In the last stream, we were working on setting up this giant array of Insanium seed reprocessors to allow us to convert our EMC into inferium seeds, and then using those seed reprocessors, convert those inferium seeds into inferium essence at a very large scale. And since the end of the last stream, I have gone ahead and doubled up the number of Insanium seed reprocessors that we have. Previously, we had 2 rows, we now have 4, and all of that Insanium is being pumped round into the ender chest, and then of course round and up into the crafter. Now, when I added the 3rd row here, I did have to add a 3rd pipe to the ender chest with another one of these ultimate pipe upgrades to allow us to clear out the chest fast enough. And then when I added the 4th line, I had to add yet another pipe, so we now have 4 pipes coming out of this, all with ultimate pipe upgrades. But at that point, we then ran into the issue that the crafter just isn't fast enough. You'll see that right here, it's backed up on inferium blocks, and we're just kind of backed up all the way back here, and we've got over 8,000 blocks of inferium that are just sitting in the compacting drawer. However, it turns out there is a solution to this that I've been told about via the Twitch chat, and that is that if you add more than one of the same recipe to the crafter, it will work basically twice as fast. So right here, right now, we only have one craft dedicated to turning inferium blocks into prudentium blocks, but if we go down here and we add the exact same recipe again, like this, and we hit apply, now if we look inside of here, we will see that the inferium block backlog is going down incredibly quickly. This is working so much faster than it was before, and so it kind of looks like the crafter can do each craft simultaneously. So it can do all the crafts at the same time. It doesn't do one craft and then another and then another. It does them all at the same time, and so the more of the same craft you have, the more you can craft, the faster it will go, which is very nice indeed. And now we have, essentially run through that backlog here, and we have 11,000 Insanium Essence. Again, the number that we're shooting for is around 20,000. With 20,000 Insanium Essence, we should, I think, be able to craft everything that we need to get the creative chest. Now, before we get started with some of the crafting that I want to get started with in today's stream, I do want to clear up a few points that have been brought up in the YouTube comments. People seem to be a little confused about the creative storage upgrade and the creative vending upgrade. So the creative vending upgrade is the item that allows you to get infinite of basically any item. This, unfortunately, isn't craftable. We can't make it. There's no recipe for it. The creative storage upgrade just gives a regular storage door the ability to hold an infinite amount of items. And so I've seen a lot of comments suggesting that I just get the vending upgrade or get the infinite upgrade and then use that to get an infinite amount of whatever it is that we want to get. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. The creative storage upgrade just increases the capacity of a regular storage drawer, like these compacting drawers, to be able to hold an infinite amount of items. And so, not something we can do, unfortunately. One of the problem that we'd had right at the end of the last episode that I didn't notice until after we'd finished is that we were losing power real fast. Right at the end of the last episode, our refined storage system actually turned off. And when I checked inside of this flux plug, I didn't notice it at the time, but it did say that it was using 2 billion redstone flux per tick. The reason for that is that I had the creative energy cube on my hotbar, which meant that the wireless charging of the flux controller over here was trying to wirelessly charge this empty creative energy cube that can hold an infinite amount of power. And in doing so, it was just pulling 2 billion redstone flux per tick out of our orb. And so right at the end of the last episode, I think we were at about 8 trillion, and I think we lost 4 trillion in a matter of like seconds, maybe. You'll see here we've got 6 trillion. If I move this here and I check down here, we start losing 2 billion FE per tick. And if I take that off again, you'll see we've gone down to almost under 6 trillion. So we almost lost 1 trillion just in that time alone. And so just a heads up, if you have wireless charging, make sure that your creative energy cube doesn't go into any inventory slot where it could possibly start to charge wirelessly. Anyway, now that that is taken care of, the goal for today's stream is kind of going to be to work towards this creative chest. We've already made 1 creative energy cube. We do need to make 5 more of those to complete the craft here. The same is kind of true with the creative fluid tank. We've made 1 of those. We need to get 5 more to complete the craft. I'll bookmark both of those. We have a few new crafts that we've not done yet, like the creative controller and the infinite storage disk. We need quite a few of both of those. Those don't require any creative essence, and so we're probably going to start with those. Once we have those taken care of, Then we need to work on things like the energy cell from Create, along with the jetpacks, the creative jetpacks from Simply Jetpacks. Those also require creative essence, and of course, the creative storage upgrades. And then finally, we also have, of course, the everlasting guilty pool. Right now, we do have one of those down, but we do need to get one more of them if we're going to craft the creative chest. So quite a few creative items to craft, but to be fair, most of them are either EMCable, like the energy cubes and the mechanism tank, and the same's kind of true, I think, for the creative controller here. Everything here has an EMC value, or they just require a large amount of creative essence, which of course we are working on. And then the unobtainium, as we saw before, we've got 103 unobtainium. We only need 36. I'll take 64 out of there and just drop it in the system for future use. So before we do any of this, one thing that the Twitch chat and a few YouTube commenters have been asking for a little while is an upgrade to my pickaxe. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and quickly melt down a little bit of unobtainium in the smeltery here. If we put like 3 ingots in, you can actually make an unobtainium pickaxe head. And judging by the stats in JEI, it is ludicrously fast. If we look at the, if we have a pickaxe head, the iron pickaxe head that we currently have has a mining speed of 6. We've upgraded ours with quite a bit of redstone to bring that mining speed up to 12, and I think in kind of normal Tinker's Construct, Cobalt is the fastest you can get with a mining speed of 7.5. I don't think Manualin is faster than that. It's not, it's got 6.5. But the unobtainium pickaxe head here has a default mining speed without the redstone upgrades of 48. It is so much faster than anything that we could usually craft. It is kind of insane. And so I am almost expecting this to be too fast, especially because we're going to upgrade this pickaxe, which already has haste on it. So we're going to get more than 48 mining speed. But let's give it a go, shall we? We'll throw in the soul lava there. That should be enough to melt the remaining unobtainium. And we can then just go ahead and pull that out over the pickaxe head gold cast here, and then of course craft it up inside of our Tinker's Anvil, and we should have just a super fast pickaxe. Boom. And boom. So this now has a mining speed of 73, essentially. Let's give that a try. I assume it's going to be still quite slow at breaking wood, of course, that makes sense. But let's have a look at our smeltery here, because this has a big buffer of blocks that we can kind of safely avoid to break. I don't know if it's going to be the fastest pick I've ever used. It's not. It's actually a nice speed comparatively. There are definitely much faster pickaxes you can get. There are tools from Project E that you can make, like the Morningstar or the Red Matter pickaxe. There are also tools from Draconic Evolution, like the Wyvern pickaxes and whatnot. But I don't really think we need them. I think this is a pretty good speed for us. It's a little slower. It's quite fast. It kind of breaks stone instantaneously, which is quite nice. And of course, if we want to ultimine a large area, it does that very quickly. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be good enough for us to make our way to the end of the pack here. And we now have a durability of 10,000, which is a huge upgrade over what we had before. And so I'm kind of confident that we shouldn't have to repair this again before the end of the mod pack, which is real nice. Also, people have been asking me to just actually get rid of this crafting grid because I keep coming back to it. Even though I don't need to, I have my wireless crafting grid. I'm going to break it just so I don't come back here. I'll put my patterns in like that, and I'm going to try not running back to the crafting grid every single time that I want to craft something. We got a lot of singularities, which is good. We're up at like 17 on most of them, 18 maybe, and then 21 on a few of them that we got extra of last episode. And in the time that I've been rambling, we've gone up from 11,000 to almost 13,000 Insanium Essence here. So we should get to the 20,000 that we need fairly quickly. Now, what I'm going to do, I think, to begin with here is I think I'll start by teaching our system how to get the infinite storage disks. I think this might be the trickiest one that we have left to do. For this, we need a bunch of advanced and improved processes. Of course, those are easy enough. We've got them and they're EMCable. It looks like I haven't taught my system how to make the improved processes, but that's fine. We have some and we can add them to the table. Then, other than that, we need to get an advanced storage housing, and we need to get a lot of 16 384K disks, 65 536K disks, 262 million disks, and 1048 million disks. So these are kind of like the regular storage disks from refined storage, none of which we've made because we've been using our colossal chest here. But I think for the most part, we're just going to do a lot of teaching here. The good news is that most of these have an EMC value. The only two that don't are these top two. So I think what we will probably end up doing here then is kind of crafting these. Do we have any? We don't have any glass, but we should have glass available in here, right? We do. Cool. Let's take some glass and let's throw that in the system. And then let's see. If we type in storage part, it's the storage parts that we're really after. So this is easy enough, and we don't want to be doing this in here. We want to be doing it in our wireless crafting grid. Here, we can take a part, we can throw it into our transmutation tablet, and then we can take out really as many of those parts as we like. Realistically, we only need 3 of them, and then that allows us to make the next tier of part. Again, let me make sure that I put all of the basic processes and stuff into here so we have enough of those as well, and we're not going to run out anytime soon. We'll drop all of those in. But essentially, we kind of just have to go through the somewhat tedious process of crafting each new tier of storage part, putting that in the transmutation tablet, getting a bunch of those storage parts. In this case, it's the 4K storage part. We'll take a few stacks of those, drop those back into the system, and then rinse and repeat all the way up until we get to the storage parts that no longer have an EMC value, those being the 262M and the 1048M. Alright, so not too long later, and now if we type in storage part, I have crafted and topped my transmutation table all of the storage parts from the 1K all the way up to the 65,536K, which is this one here. There are 2 more ahead of that. Those, as we've saw before, don't have an EMC value. And that should be kind of fine, though, because we only need 4 of the 1048M discs, and we only need 8 of the 262M discs. Of course, we do have to do that, what is it, like 6 times or something? We need 2 for, 6 of these discs, so there is a fair bit of crafting still to do there, I guess, but for the most part, it shouldn't be too difficult. And if we're going to craft our first infinite storage disk here, let's see if we can't get a bunch of these. So if I type in storage part, the only thing that might actually hold us back is EMC. I have gone ahead and turned off all of these levers up here, so we should see no more stuff going into these quantum compressors, because I think that 18 singularities should be enough. I think we need about 16 of them to craft the creative chest, and so I'm fairly certain that we don't need any more of those on, and so we should hopefully start to see our EMC go up now. Of course, holding a stack of these is 2.1 billion EMC in the palm of our hands, but let's see if we can put that to use. So creating the next tier shouldn't be too difficult. We do need these withering processes, which I actually don't think we have, and I think the withering processes are the reason why these don't have an EMC value, because the withering processes here also don't have an EMC value. Thankfully, though, they're pretty easy to make. It's 1 processor binding, 1 silicon, 1 redstone, and then 1 nether star. As per usual, just to be safe, I'll do 1 of these and 1 of these to make sure that we can grab as much silicon as we need and as many processor bindings as we need as well. And if we dump all of those in the system, we should just be able to craft like a stack of these withering processes, and I'm kind of hopeful that that might just be enough to do what we need to do here. I will use my time in a bottle to make this just a little bit faster. But as those move in, let's see, can we craft a 262M storage part? We can. Now, if we are going to get 8 of these, we need 8 storage parts, right? So let's do this, and then let's craft 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we ran out already? Of course, that makes a lot of sense. Let me take those away, and let's do this. We are going to need more than a stack of these, but that's fine. So those are the 8 we need to make the 8 262M storage disks, but we also then need to make 4 of these 1048M storage disks, and each one of these is made using 3 of those 262M storage parts. And so if we're going to make 4 of these, that means that we need 12 of these, 12 more of them just to make those. And that looks like it should be doable, honestly. Let me get more withering processes here. I'll make like 2 more stacks. And by 2 more stacks, I mean, yeah, we can do 2 more stacks. I think we have the redstone to do that. And I'm pretty sure that even if we don't have the nether stars in the system to make that happen, we do have more nether stars in the nether star ender chest that definitely can make that happen. So let's make that a little bit faster. We can also make the importer that a little bit faster as well. We do have a cluster of chickens down here that are all taking refuge from something. I'm not quite sure what. But either way, let's see if we cannot make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more of those. We can. Okay. Then we'll take the rest of the 65,000K storage parts and we'll put them back because that is still a little bit of EMC, although we are now down at about 500 million, which is not ideal. But we should now be able to take all of the parts we just made, craft them into the final parts, the 1048M parts, and we should be good to go. So now it's just a case of getting the housing. We do need 1 of these for the center, so I will take this and transmute the rest of them. Boom, and housing. Let's take a few stacks of those just to be safe. and we'll put one of those in the center, which is right there. But for all of the rest of these here, we need improved processors, we need advanced processors, and then it's just a case of crafting everything down. So I think we can just do like this and this. We totally can. 1, 2, these don't stack, of course, that'd be too easy. 3 and 4. Those are going to go up in the corners here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, unfortunately, no EMC value there. That would have been too easy. Let's do this and this. We'll get 8 of these. These are going to go next to the ones that we just placed in. And then everything else that is not these has an EMC value. So we only have to make one of them, and then we can just work from there. So we need one 65k one. We need one 16384k. And that's it. Okay, this might be where we actually run out of EMC though, right? Because we need to do something like this and this. Each one of these has an EMC value of 34 million. That's very expensive. And then here we got 11.43 million as well. And we need to get a lot of these, right? How many do we need? We need 16 of these, and I think 12 of these. So question 1, can we get 16 of the cheaper ones? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and if we free up some space, 16. Okay, that is doable. We can put all of those in, but whether or not we have the EMC remaining to get 12 of these, that is yet to be seen. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, never mind. We are pretty low on EMC here, but we did manage to make it happen. So we can fill all of these in, and then it's just a case of grabbing the improved and advanced storage components, and we should be good to go. Let's type in processor here. Let's grab all of you, and then in here, if we shift-click that in, we get our first infinite storage disk. Nice. So we do need to get 5 more of those. And so if we're going to make that happen, we are definitely going to have to get a much larger amount of EMC than what we currently have. And one thing people have been suggesting for a little bit of time now is the power flowers. I haven't been using them because up until now I have been under the impression that the dragon egg seeds are going to be a faster way of us getting EMC, and I still kind of stand by that, especially because we're playing without the Watch Your Flowing Time. If you have the Watch Your Flowing Time, the power flowers are insane, but let's have a look. The power flowers here, for those who don't know, are essentially just items that you put down and they just generate you EMC. So if you put down the basic power flower Mark 1, and it will generate 102 EMC per second. Not much, but as you go up through the tiers, they just passively generate more and more EMC. The only trouble in this pack is that after you get over tier 5, they stop having an EMC value. And so, although you can get all the way up to the Mark 16 power flower that does produce 48 trillion EMC per second, it's very expensive and there's a lot of crafting along the way. Again, kind of a lot of tedious crafting, but I think we might just need to give it a go here. We can accelerate it with our time in a bottle, and we do have almost 3 hours of time, so if we can get a fairly high tier power flower, we then could accelerate it quite aggressively to try and get a lot of power. But let's have a look. The recipes are all the same here. The basic power flower is a basic compressed collector with a basic EMC link and basic relays. The basic relay is made with obsidian, glass, and then a block of Aeternalis fuel. Do we have Aeternalis blocks? We do not, but we do have Aeternalis, and so we might as well go ahead and do something like this. That gets us the Aeternalis fuel. I'll put that in here just in case we need it in the future. That gets us the basic relay, which of course we can also put in here. We need 6 of those basic relays. And then finally, we need just the basic compressed collector, which is 9 basic collectors, which are made with glowstone, another Aeternalis fuel block, glass, and a furnace. That should also be fine. Glowstone we have in block form. Let's take a bunch of that. Glass, we also have the ability to make a very, very, very large amount of. And so that should be everything for at least 1 collector. Oh no, of course, we do need yet another Aeternalis fuel block. That is completely fine. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then this time we're going to need quite a lot of those because we need 3 compressed collectors. So 1, 2, 3. I'll put the rest back in as well. And then that should be almost everything. We just need an EMC link. And going forward, we just kind of keep doing that same crafting because we can take this, we can throw it in here. And the next tier here is the Mark II. It requires a similar recipe. You can use the basic flour and upgrade it, but the lower flour is cheaper by the looks of it, substantially cheaper, because this one basically, you can either spend 6.6 million on the basic power flower, or you can spend 200,000 on extra dark relay. But now it's another tier of dark collector. This one is the previous collector with dark matter, and then it's another tier of dark relay. This time it's the basic relay with dark matter, and then it's the next tier of EMC link. And as we go up, it's more of the same. We get a red matter, which you guessed it, is the previous relay with the new matter, the previous collector with the new matter, and then the previous EMC link with the new matter, and you do that all the way up. So let's do a little bit of crafting here and see if we can't get at least to the tier 5 flower here. Chat is right here in that we don't have to make all of the different tiers of power flower. We do have to make all of the different tiers of relay and collector, like and EMC link. You have to go through each tier to get the next tier, but we don't actually have to make the flowers. And so what's probably going to be easiest is just crafting, for example, a dark relay and a dark collector, putting those both in here, and then upgrading those to the next tier, so we can go straight for the red relay and the red collector, and we can throw those in. And if we do this all the way up to violet, which is just the highest tier that we've done so far, we should then be able to jump straight in at the violet power flower, which is 300,000 EMC per tick, which is pretty good. I don't know if we're going to have enough EMC to actually make it. We'll find out soon, I guess. But I think this is definitely going to be the better way to go about it, because it means we don't have to go through all the tedious crafting of making every single flower individually. Okay, so we've crafted all the way up to the violet relay and the violet collector. So we need 6 violet relays, which is easy enough. And then we need 18 violet collectors, which we cannot do, unfortunately. We can do 10, which is not enough. So what I might have to do then is I might have to step down to the purple power flower for the time being and start with that one. So for the purple power flower, we need 6 purple relays. So same idea again. Now we'll take 6 of these. We also need the tier 6 EMC link. We can throw away this tier 7 one that we have, which is another big boost to our value there. And then we do need 18 of these purple collectors, which we definitely can make. So let's do this. We can dump these away. Let's craft these into their compressed variants. I will save that in the transmutation tablet, just in case we want to make more of these in the future. And then what are we missing? We're not missing anything. Nice. Okay, cool. So this is the purple power flower. It generates 68,500 EMC per second, which isn't nothing, but it's not ideal, because right now I think we are making more than that passively. Obviously ours come in big bulk. We get like 5 million every so often when we finally get a pink matter that comes in. And so it's definitely a bonus, but it's not crazy good. It's not insane, which is it's kind of what we need at this stage of the game. We can accelerate it, of course. We can do something like this. I don't want to use too much of my time here, because I would kind of like to save it for when we get like a higher tier one, we can start to generate like, you know, millions or billions very quickly. But this is kind of why I didn't make these. I mean, we can make more of them. Like, we can just grab more of the purple relays. We can grab more of the purple compressed blocks. We can only grab 4 of those, though, which is unfortunate. And then the relays. Can I get 12 purple relays? No, I can only get 1 if I make 4 of these. So in reality here, I think we could really only make like 1 more of these. You know, we could take 6 of those, and then that gets us the purple relay and the purple compressed collector, and then we just need the purple EMC link, right? And then that should be basically everything for yet another one of these, which is a doubling of our generation, right? Which is great. We can put this down as well, and now we're getting, you know, 128 or 136,000 EMC per second, which is an improvement. It's more EMC than we were getting a second ago, but yeah, we need a lot more. Down here, we're at 18,600 Insanium Essence. Now, one thing that we are going to want to do, and one thing that we can work on while we wait for our EMC to come in a bit faster, we do need to craft a lot of creative essence, and it's going to be very, 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 very tedious if we try and craft, you know, 20,000 Insanium into however many creative essence we need manually. It's going to take a lot of time. So I think what we're going to want to do instead is probably take our ultimate crafting table here, which we have not taught to the table, which we should. We'll do this, and I'll get another one of these, because I think we want to upgrade at least one of these to be an ultimate table. The reason for that is that we can then auto craft with it. So the auto ultimate crafting table requires 2 redstone components, which seem easy enough. We do need some redstone ingots. Those are actually completely fine. I will go ahead and get a few of those, again, just to save us potentially having to craft even more of them in the future. A stack is probably going to be enough, and then let's go ahead and get one of these. Again, we'll duplicate that. Actually, we'll just craft two of these, and then we'll do the same here. This is a bit more expensive because it requires these crystal tine ingots, and these are made in the ultimate crafting table with lapis, iron, gold, diamond, and nether stars. Okay, so that is fine. We'll take a stack of lapis, we'll take a stack of redstone, we'll take a stack of gold, we'll take a stack of iron, we'll take a stack of diamonds, and we'll go downstairs and we'll take a stack of nether stars. We don't need that much of all of these, but it's just easier than manually calculating what we need. Over here, we should have a plethora of nether stars. We do indeed. That is fantastic. And so in here, if we go crystal tine ingot, we should then be able to shift click that in, grab a bunch of these. They don't have any MC value, so we might as well get as many as we can. And then that should be what we need to craft 2 of these crystal tine components, at which point we can get the ultimate auto crafting table, which, as the name suggests, is able to automatically craft. And if we combine that with our refined storage system, we should be able to teach the system how to take all of the insanium essence that we have downstairs and turn that into creative essence. So this does require power, which of course we can do via a flux point. Boom and boom. And if I'm not mistaken, the way this works is I think we can put a chest above this, and in here we can put the items for the recipe that we want to teach to the crafter here. So let me do a test here. Let me put a bunch of stuff back into the system. We don't need to be carrying all this around with us. And let's go get some insanium essence. So we'll take a bunch of this. And over in here, our system already knows how to downcraft the insanium into supremium. So that is done. What we are going to have to do is teach the system what it needs to send over to that chest in order to create the creative essence. Thankfully, there are only 3 items involved. We need 4, 8, 12, 16, plus 12 is 28, plus 8 is 36, plus 4 is 40. So we need to tell this to send 40 insanium essence, which you can do if you swap the processing and you click in 40, like that. Then as far as supremium goes, we need 4, 8, 12, 16, and then it's the same again, it's 40 again of the supremium. That is fine. Let me see, do we have any supremium in here? We do not, but we can go ahead and request that our system make 44s, start, and it's going to do that basically instantaneously. And again, we'll do the same here. We'll go back to our pattern grid and we'll put in the 40 here. And then we don't want to put in the master infusion crystal. We are going to make another master infusion crystal here because we need it in order to make this happen. So let's do one of, we need compressed cobble first. Geez, okay, I think, do we have that compressed cobble? Nope, of course we don't. That would be too easy. Okay, fine. Let me get a bunch of cobblestone. Isaac of the past was terrible at making sure that he put all of his items in the transmutation table. That is fine. Let's go all the way back here. Let's get a compressed cobblestone, and then let's craft that into a double compressed cobblestone, and then let's put that away. Let's do something like this. Fantastic. Let's upgrade that to an inferium gemstone. Of course, we don't have any inferium. That would be far too easy. Again, we can request that inferium be made for us. Just the one will do the trick. Of course, it's going to make 4 because you have to make 4 at a time. And then from there, we should be pretty smooth sailing if we have the essence required. Let me type in essence here. We don't have the essence required. That is fine. Let me start by requesting some more Imperium essence. We'll say 20. Then we'll request some more Prudentium, 20, some more Tertium, 20, and some more, we don't need more Inferium, we only need 4 of each, so I think we should be good to go. There's the first crystal. If I type in crystal here, we should be able to more easily shift-click through the different tiers and get ourselves another master infusion crystal. Now, the reason that we're not going to put the master infusion crystal into the crafting recipe is that the refined storage system isn't really smart enough to know that this is reusable. And so if I were to put this in here like this, although that is correct, that is going to tell the system that every time it needs to craft it, it needs to send a new master infusion crystal. And that's not the case. So we'll just say 40 insanium and 40 supremium gets the job done. That makes 1 creative essence. That's what we're going to tell the system anyway. So let's take the supremium and let's request a bit more supremium so we can actually do one of these crafts manually. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and shift click in this recipe here. And then we want to click on we want to shift left click at the top there to save the recipe. That recipe should now be saved, and we should see the Mastery Infusion Crystal stay here once it's done. There we go. So when you click on it again after you've shift left clicked it, then you can just normal click it, and it shows the recipe. So now this is locked to this recipe, and the Mastery Infusion Crystal isn't going to go anywhere. And so all we need to do is back in here, put in our creative essence, click encode, and that is now done. And so now, if we go ahead and grab a crafter, ideally a diamond crafter. Did I not put the diamond crafter into... Did I not teach the diamond crafter? I really thought I taught the system how to make those crafters. Do I have any in here? I do not. Okay, that is unfortunate. In that case, then let me get a chest of some persuasion so that I can temporarily move every single one of our patterns out of the diamond crafter so that I can quickly throw it into my transmutation table and get another one. All right, so I've picked this up and put it back down. And so now we have the ability to make more diamond crafters. We're going to put this diamond crafter on top of this chest. I thought we made the wrench from refined storage. That's fine. It's fairly easy to make, and you can use this to very easily rotate the crafter until it points the way you want, at which point we just need one singular cable to connect that up, like so. And now if we put this pattern in here, like this, we are now telling the system that if you send 40 Insanium and 40 Supremium down into this chest here, it is going to produce a creative essence. Now, I am going to go ahead and swap this out for a barrel, because the barrel is going to allow us to actually, open it up and see what's inside of it. So let's do this and this just to make life a little easier. And I think if I'm not mistaken, we then want to get an importer and put that importer onto the crafting table, and that should complete the cycle there. So real quick, let me go over here. We have our importer. I don't think we made any upgrades for that importer. That's fine. We'll take this and do one of these, at which point we can make another one for our ultimate crafter. I do want to make sure that this goes down on the Supremium furnace again, just in case we need it. So let's do one of these. Fantastic. And let's make sure that that is reconnected as well. Boom and boom. And then over here, we're just going to go ahead and put down the importer right about there. Fantastic. Okay. And with that, I think we have automated the Insanium essence. And so now if I open my wireless crafting grid, I type in creative and I click start, it's going to tell me that 40 Supremium and 40 Insanium makes one creative. And because we don't have the Supremium, it's going to use 10 Insanium to make that 40 Supremium. Hence why it says 50 Insanium and start. And hopefully that's going to send things over. It does. And then you'll see here that the crafting table is automatically filling in all of the slots. And once it's fully full, it's then going to do its little thing where it crafts the actual item, albeit somewhat slowly. And then once it's done, that creative essence should make its way into the system. Nice. Okay, cool. So that does work, and it works pretty well. One thing I might do here, we're going to need to craft hundreds, if not thousands, of creative essence. I might, again, replace this barrel here with a storage drawer. My thought process being that if we get a 2x1 drawer, that being a storage drawer that can hold 2 items, we could then just have a bunch of slots for both the Supremium and the Insanium. If we do something like this, I think that's still going to work. And if we make some upgrades, we can set this up in such a way that it can hold a large number of items. My only concern was going to be that if we try and craft like 1,000 creative essence and it tries to send all of that to the barrel is obviously not going to be able to hold all that, and that could cause issues for us potentially. On another note, we do actually need to make all of these upgrades and save them to the transmutation tablet anyway, because of course, if we're going to make the creative storage upgrade, we need a bunch of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5 storage upgrades. So we might as well go through the rigmarole of making each one of these tiers, saving them, and then using a couple of the highest tier, the tier 5 upgrades, to actually make the capacity of our 2x1 drawer that a little bit bigger. And then at that point, we could also potentially look at either moving the compacting drawer downstairs or just putting another external storage on it so that our system has access to it from where it currently is. We do need more upgrade templates here. Let me grab like a stack of those just to be safe. And then emerald. It's done. Fantastic. Cool. So now, if we type in storage, we've got all the storage upgrades, and you can put, I believe, up to 7 of these in here. And by default, each one of these slots can hold 1,024 items. With each one of these, it increases the storage by 32 times the base value. And you'll see now the stack limit is 3,584 stacks. These can hold a lot of items. And so if we were to go downstairs, how are we doing on insanium. We've got over 20,000. And so what I think we will do, we're a little ways away from our closest refined storage cable. So what I might do is I might grab another external storage, which we have made before, but I don't think, yeah, Isaac of the Past being a fool didn't save it to his template. Let's do this. The good news is, of course, that the compacting drawers do retain their inventory when you break them, and so we can just go ahead and break this, grab it, and then back over here, if we place it down somewhere close to the refined storage system, say here, we can throw down our external storage like that, and now we should have access to 21,000 insanium. And so then the question becomes, how much creative essence do we actually need? And let's try 1,000. Is that too much? Yeah, that's way too much. Okay. Is it like 400? We can make 400 with 20,000 insanium essence. And so start. Let's do it. That should send all of this over to here. It totally did. I am going to make a draw key real quick because that's going to allow me to lock these two slots to Insanium and Supremium, just to make sure that we don't end up with like Insanium in both slots or Supremium in both slots. That's not what we want to happen. And yeah, now we just kind of let this do its thing. It's going to slowly but surely fill this up. It looks like it's going to start by filling up 64 Insanium in each slot. Again, we can, of course, do something like this to make it a fair bit faster. It looks like I accidentally sped up the brewing stand back there and not the crafting table. But there we go. Now it's filling up substantially faster. And yeah, it's going to do, I guess, like 6 batches of 64 each, and it's going to go ahead and make all of that. We could probably do with making some speed upgrades, those being these guys here. These are, again, fairly straightforward to make and are, of course, EMCable, which you love to see. And these are going to just make the importer faster, because right now you'll see that we're actually backing up on creative essence here, which is going to cause a problem because once this fills up, then it's going to stop making creative essence until some gets taken out. If we do this, it's going to start pulling in that creative essence much faster than it's being made, and it's going to allow us to avoid that issue going forward. But yeah, this is working through it. We've already made, 80 of them. It's going to make even more of them here. You'll see it's going through it quite nice and quickly. And that's how you do it. That's how we automate the creative essence. 400, I think, is all that we need. And so now we should have, I think, what it takes to make all of the creative storage upgrades, because we've made all of the storage upgrades and we are about to have all of the creative essence as well. And we can probably also look fairly soon at making like the creative jetpacks and the creative energy cell as well, because I don't think these require too much EMC. The only thing now that is standing in our way really is EMC, because going forward, if we're going to make 5 more infinite storage disks, we're going to need a lot of EMC to make that happen. I don't really think that anything else in this recipe is going to require that much EMC. And so I think that's really going to be the sticking point. I think we need billions more than what we currently have. And currently, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with that, but we'll see. And there we go. The creative essence is done, and we have 401 creative essence available to us. Nice. Cool. That is good. And so now, again, if we wanted to, I'm pretty sure that if I type in storage upgrade and I grab a stack of each of these, and I also grab a stack of the upgrade templates as well, I think that's everything we need, right, to make the infinite storage parts. We'll grab our creative essence, of course, quite a bit of it, and we'll head over here. Can we make these? We can. We can only make 3 of them. I don't know what it is we are missing. Oh, it's the standard upgrades. Hold on. Storage upgrade. Let me take more of the... Oh, we just need more of some than others, right? That's the problem now. I see the issue. We need more of the tier 1s than we do of like the tier 5s. That's fine. Boom. That gets us 5 of them. We do need 16 of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, we need 16 of these, but I think 16 is very doable, right? If we make some space in our inventory here by clearing out some of the junk that we don't need to be holding on to, I think it is very plausible that we can make 16 of these happen fairly easily here. Let me grab even more storage upgrades. We need more gold. We need a bit more diamond. We don't need more emerald, although I'll go to a full stack just to be safe. We need more of you and more of you, and I think that might be it, chat. I think that might be what we need. Let's do this. That gets us up to 9. What are we missing? We're missing creative essence, of course. Again, this is kind of the biggest use of the creative essence, to be fair, is just making all of these. How are we looking now? Can we make more? We don't want to make 19. 19's too many. And we do want to make sure we don't waste any of our creative essence. Let's take all of this back out here. But there we go. 16 infinite storage upgrades, which again, only allow you, unfortunately, to increase a storage drawer to be able to hold an infinite number of items. But that is at least one item checked off the list. Next time, chat, we'll come back and we'll look at pressing forward here. We'll see about getting the energy cell, the creative jetpack, and then maybe the everlasting guilty pool, because those are, well, we've not made either the jetpack or the energy cell yet, and we'll need to get another guilty pool. And then we'll see about maybe getting more EMC, I guess, so we can try and get the 5 remaining infinite storage discs. But I do see a path to the end of this pack that is hopefully not going to take us too much longer. But unfortunately, though, for now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of Mystical Block there.